Huh.
Okay, so I'm bringing you back in. I've got this surface cleaned up here, and just to note, I will take and sand or scratch the back of the bridge here just to give it some tooth. It's just coincidence. I use this little toothed plane blade out of my Veritas little palm planer. Did the bulk of the work here and got that scratched down pretty good. It seemed to cut really good with because of it being toothed. Anyway, so I'm just checking to see, because I've done these on some cross braces don't line up this particularly well, but these cross braces, if you watch the magnet, I'm just following. I got a magnet. I'm following that cross brace, so that's going to be ideal. So right in the center of the cross of the bridge, and then centered, on the cross brace right there. I will pick up perfect clamping on this. Find the cross brace over here and try to follow it, and it's basically the same thing. So I got some good clamping right there. I won't have to put a coal under there because it will be in the it will be right at the cross brace, so the wings on the bridge will clamp right down very nicely, and then I'll just put one in the center, which just goes right up in between the cross braces and clamps down right there. So I will do is put little pieces of rubber down right here so that I don't mar the bridge. I don't need this any longer. I pulled it out of the way because it was attracting the magnet. That came in very handy. And it was kind of lumpy in there, so it took a little bit of scraping and chiseling and all that, and I just used this my string gauge height, and just kind of went across all this and checked to make sure things are pretty flat. And so I'm satisfied that we're going to get a good glue surface there. I need to go get my homemade bridge clamps, and I'm just going to take some time and scratch the back of the bridge here, and then because it's rosewood, I will wipe it down in acetone, make sure that I don't have any oil on there, and kind of do a dry run with the clamps and see what's going on. I'll bring you back in. Alright, well, I thought the camera was running just then, so I kind of went through a big I don't know about big, but an explanation. So I'm not going to put tons of glue on here because I don't want to deal with a lot of squeeze out. I am, however, going to make sure that everything does have glue. Words are hard. I am going to put glue on both surfaces. And what else? Oh, a little trick. Put paste wax around the edge of the bridge, so that if you get any glue that comes up on the edge of the bridge, it won't stick to the bridge. And I got glue out there. I painted outside the lines. Okay, I'm going to put some on the bridge itself. Oh, well, I had the camera off, thinking it was on. I also mentioned that I have these homemade bridge clamps, and now I can't really show them to you like I was doing the first time around. And so, maybe I'll explain them as I go. Like I said, I'm trying not to get tons of glue on here, but I want to have plenty of glue, just not tons of squeeze out. I think that's good. I don't think we're going to have tons and tons of squeeze out anyway. Some. Okay. And I already am regretting the fact that I don't have any paper towels handy. Alright, I got paper towels and a squeeze bottle. Spray bottle. Alright, so I had some glue right there on the bridge. Make sure this is in the spot where it goes. Looks good. This tape is going to help me lock this in. Now I did mention before, I don't think I mentioned it the second time. So I have a 1/2 inch MDF block like that, exactly like taped up in between the X braces here. And these are my homemade deals. I'm going to get that in there. We'll go ahead and use a little piece of rubber. But everything's looking really good. I'm just going to go around it, clean the glue up, and then tighten them down some more. So it's just that process. I might bring you in a few, just to let you see how it looks when it's all said and done, clamped and cleaned up. All right, so just a real quickie here. I looked inside. You can see I have the mirror here. Looked inside to make sure that my outboard clamps were on top of the braces the way they're supposed to be, and I tightened them up some, and I'm going to tighten the middle ones up some, and I checked there, and it's also where it needs to be, and trying to keep this from rotating the bottom block. There we go. Not very successfully, but I am keeping it okay. A little tighter. Alright, so after snugging those up, I just got a little tiny bit more squeeze out. Another trip around this thing with a wet paper towel, and we're done. Okay, bring you back again. I had the radio going and I was worried that you two doing a Beatles cover, I don't know who do they pay for that? Anyway, might get it flagged, so I just had to turn it off, and I wanted to not leave so abruptly. So anyway, here I am once again. I'm just taking the end of my rule here. I use popsicle sticks a lot too for this, and just getting down into that inside, that sharp corner there. It's hard to get into with just punching the rag up. and drag that around. Make sure that I've got all the squeeze out, and get under the clamps that way more easily. And we'll go ahead and pull the tape off at this time as well, just to make sure that if there's anything boiled under it, I can get to that as well. Also, yeah, looks pretty good to me. I'm going to call it a night. And so I feel like I accomplished my goals I laid out here before we started. So feel pretty good. Got the cleat in. Yep. And by the time I got this cleaned up, the cleat was plenty dry enough to unclamp. But let me look at my watch wherever it's at. I took it off because I can't stick my hand in there. It's just 9:15. I've been out here a couple hours. So doing the cleat, prepping, and gluing the bridge took a couple hours. So there you have it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching again, and take care. I like it when you guys comment on videos. Gives me an opportunity to just kind of, share back and forth with some of you, and kind of get into your head and see what you're doing and where you're at and what projects you might be working on. It just adds to the whole experience. It's a lot of fun for me. So take care, guys. We'll talk to you next time. So what time did I do this last night? I think I glued this on and got out of here about 9 o'clock, and it's almost 3 o'clock. So cleaned it up, pulled the tape off, cleaned up around the thing really good. It looks pretty good. Very, very happy. When you tape off and you scratch the finish off, it's hard to know for sure if you're going to be loosening something that's under the tape. And then when you peel it, the tape, you peel finish off, but it didn't peel anything off in this instance. That I could tell. Once I get the clamps off, I'll be able to look at it closer. I'll take a Q-tip or a little rag or something and run some linseed oil around the edge just to seal in case there's although I had squeeze out everywhere, so it's probably got glue and anything. But if there's a little open spot in the finish, that linseed oil will seal that up. And it's not like, I got like a product right here I just keep in a jar. That's basically linseed oil. It's basically true oil, homemade true oil. So it's, I think it's linseed oil and urethane and a little bit of thinner in there. And so and I guess to make it ideal, I'd have to put a little Japan dryer or something in there, which I haven't done. I think I made it a little thinner than what was recommended, and again, I think that was basically a formula that I heard from Ken Boudreau at Ken's Guitar Workshop. If I lived in an area that I could just order true oil, I would probably just get some true oil for the same sort of purpose that I use that for. And it typically is just doing a little touch-up on the edge of a fretboard after refret, or this sort of thing around a bridge. I wouldn't mind coating a bridge with that, although I typically just use my fretboard conditioner, which is, I have a couple different kinds. I made one myself, which is, in essence, you probably making more noise than you can hear me talk over, but anyway, in essence, the fretboard conditioner that I just make is linseed oil that's been thinned out with thinner, and then there's the StuMac stuff that I use, and I like the StuMac a lot. I don't know what's in it. It's definitely got some sort of resins or dryers in it or something, because it's it gives a different look on the finish than what I get with this other product, just the straight up linseed oil. I like it a lot, but it was kind of stupid for the amount of money that they charged for it. Stupid expensive, I guess. If you could call, you know, I don't know, a $20 pint of something stupid expensive, but it's still a little more than I wanted. Thought was fair. I do actually, though, after making the linseed oil and thinner version, I like the Stu-Mac version better, so I'll probably pop for it next time I'm out of stuff. All right, so here's the idea. What I'm gonna, I mean, this is glued in, but I want to drill. Let me remind you, I have a piece of wood, a block of MDF under the bridge plate that I used as a spacer, and I am going to drill these string holes, and instead of trying to hold a block under there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this clamp over a bit and reclamp it just to keep pressure on that block, and then when I drill through here I won't get the splintering on the inside, because this coal will under there will keep it from blowing out. So what I'm going to do now is go track down a 3/16 drill bit and drill these 3 holes, and then move it over and drill the other 3 holes. And with that block under there, I shouldn't have any issues with blowout. I do have holes that are full of glue though, so I'll be back. All right, we're back. Let's see if it's running. Got the glue out. That's a really dull drill bit. I'm still drilling glue. I don't want to push too hard because I felt under here and I'm not 100% sure that I'm covered, although hard to say. I'm not sure. I don't want to blow through this one, so I'm taking it easy. I'm not drilling MDF yet. Oh, there we go. I did hit the MDF block, but it's pushing down with the pressure, so I'll hold my fingers under here as I go through next time. I'm debating if I should just go get a brad point, or I know I got another bit. Let me grab it. So we got, pull the block out. See, there's holes in the tape, holes in the block. So did the job. Should be nice and clean inside. I got a little bit of splinter on the first hole where it bounced down a bit, but it did have the block under it. Got piece of crud in there. There we go. Now, so next thing I'm going to do is thin the saddle out, the new saddle, and see how things go. I do have to taper these holes for the pins, which I have a new set of pins because this guitar never had pins in it. So they're laying here somewhere. And then also because this saddle is going to be so low, I am going to the ramp, cut slots in here to so that the strings can come up behind that saddle and still get some good down pressure on the saddle. So yeah, the bridge looks good. I don't see anything here that's going to be any kind of issue finish wise or chipping. I had a little tiny bit out in front here that when I was taking the bridge off, if you recall, I said, oh, I think I caught the finish. I was under the finish right there a little bit and the knife came through, so it was just a really tiny little spot, but I think that will blend in once I put the linseed oil on it. And I'll sand the bridge again and oil the bridge, and I may very well have to reduce the height in the front here because of the thickness of the original bridge. So I'm just doing everything I can to gain a little better string action in the process. I'm going to clean up a few things there, put clamps away, turn the guitar upside down, shake some crap out of the guitar, and yeah, I'll bring you back